We can talk about the ABCs. We can learn about the 1, 2, 3s. It's all about you and me having fun together. We can talk about your family. We can learn about anything. It's all about you and me having fun together. It's all about you and me having fun together. It's all about you and me having fun together. All right, we are off and running. Welcome everybody to episode 61 of RME's Music Lab. I am not Brett Dale. I am Ben Schwind. I'm here today filling in for Brett Dale. He's feeling a little under the weather. So I, as a fan of the show, who gets to always hang out in the chat and enjoy it, is excited to be here and excited to get to do all this with you. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to do a lot of the stuff that Brett still does. I'm going to put a little bit of my own flavor on it. But we got an awesome artist for you today, super fun music, and we're going to play a bunch of fun songs. But let's start here by well, let's play some music here to get warmed up. We got the blues lyrics that we always have to start with, and Brett sent in some blues lyrics for us so that we could still have his presence felt here. So. Oh, today is Fun Friday. Yeah, here's what I gotta say. Yeah, today is Fun Friday, and here's what I gotta say. We're gonna play some songs and have some fun today. Yeah, I love to play music and share it with you. Yeah, I love to play music and share it with you. Yeah, you know, on RME's Music Lab, we're gonna do what we gotta do. Yeah, I love to play music and share it with you. Yeah, I love to play music and share it with you. Yeah, you're on RME's Music Lab. Ben's gonna do the best he can do. All right, there we go. We're feeling a little bit better there. I got to play some blues lyrics, get the guitar going, get the voice going. I believe now is the time in the program where I'm going to ask my assistant here, who do we got watching? Oh, here we go. We got the list. All right. Looks like we got Alicia Espy. We got the Shannon family in here. We got Keith Landsteiner. We got all sorts of people showing up. A lot of regulars, a lot of friendly faces that I'm glad to see that I miss getting to see in person. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's see here. Let's play another song here, and then we'll talk a little bit about who we got coming up here today. I want to play you a song. So I've been thinking about this because Brett got to do Abbey Road early on in Music Lab history. And the Beatles are one of my all-time favorite bands. They're the band that got me into playing music. Like, I'm sure I'm not alone with that. You know, they're kind of a small band that a lot of people have heard of. But they got me into playing music. They were Day Tripper was the first song I ever learned how to play on guitar. So they've been a huge influence on me from day one. And they have a song that called With a Little Help from My Friends. And it feels like a, I don't know, the song that's kind of helped get me through the last couple months. And I feel like it's a good song. It's a good song for a moment like this. And there's a great version that Joe Cocker did. That's actually one of like the only times that I think a cover of a Beatles song is better than the original song. But because I'm no Joe Cocker, I'm going to be doing the Beatles version here. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Well, lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. But what do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? Or how do I feel at the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? Yeah, I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? Yeah, I want somebody to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. But what do you see when you turn out the lights? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? Yeah, I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? Yeah, I want somebody to love. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. Gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. With a little help from my friends. Yeah, with a little help from my friends. Little Beatles classic there off the album Sgt. Pepper's. All right, little coffee break there. Okay. I think now is as good a time as any. We'll set down the guitar here for a moment and pick up an album of one of the greatest trumpet players of all time. Talking, of course, about Mr. Louis Armstrong, or as you can see on the album cover here, his nickname Satchmo. So, Louis Armstrong, I got my notes here, was born August 4th, 1901, right after the turn of the century. Quite a long time ago. He started playing when he was a young boy, dropped out of school, and kind of focused on playing trumpet. And during that time where he was 12 years old and then dropped out of school, he got in a little bit of trouble with the law, stealing a loaf of bread, and had to go to a kind of military camp type thing for young boys. And in that time, he got really involved in the band that they had. They had this military band, and that's where he really started to hone his trumpet skills. And once when he got a little older and got out of that, he realized that the trumpet thing, that was what he wanted to spend his life doing. And he made a huge impact doing it. One of the most influential jazz players, maybe just musicians in general of all time. He started down in New Orleans and became super influential in New Orleans, changed the course of jazz music at that time. At that time, jazz music was very heavily about group improvisation and moving as a group. And he was one of the first people to really become an individual soloist and to have his own voice outside of a group. And actually, on that line too, as a singer, he has one of the most recognizable voices of all time too. And Later in 1922, he followed his mentor Joe King Oliver up to Chicago, met up with some friends, Hokie Carmichael and Bix Beiderbecke, who, if you're a Davenport person, you've probably heard of Bix Beiderbecke at some point. There's a 7-mile race named after him, an influential player from here in the Quad Cities. But anyway, Louis Armstrong moving up to Chicago, getting involved in both the Chicago and the New York scenes. His influence only became more vast, and he started influencing, especially what we talk about here with like the Quad Cities jazz scene. Louis Armstrong became heavily influential in that. He's also, importantly, one of the first high-profile black artists that was able to, what they called at the time, crossover, which is where he was able to have appeal to both black and white audiences. One of the first to do that. And so for like basically all those reasons that I just listed, he's not only important to the history of jazz and to the history of New Orleans music, he's just important to the history of America and American music. So a super important person to know if you don't already know who he is. This is an awesome album right here that is him at Symphony Hall, and it's just incredible. It's got a lot of great solos, a lot of great songs on it. But I think what we're going to throw in the chat there, if I think Alex is going to do it if he hasn't already done it, is we're going to have Louis Armstrong's probably most popular song, which is What a Wonderful World. And I think if there's probably a song you've heard of his, if you're not familiar with his work, it's probably that song. Incredible, beautiful song. So there you go. It's a little Louis Armstrong history for you there. You know, another thing I forgot to mention, but Louis Armstrong became kind of got started really working as a musician on these riverboats. That's how a lot of this music used to travel through the country, is up and down the Mississippi River. And so he became a player on these riverboat jazz bands, and you'd leave from New Orleans, you know, you'd come up to Memphis, St. Louis, the Quad Cities, Minneapolis, all that. And the music would go everywhere from there. Oh, Imogene misses seeing me at Adams. I loved going to Adams too. That was a really fun group to play for. Oh yeah, we got all sorts of people popping in here now. It's good to see all of you. But yeah, so Louis called the riverboats the University of Music. That was basically where it was kind of him going to school, was getting to play on the riverboats, and that's how he got to meet a lot of great musicians up and down the river and get to you know, have influence on music all over the place. All right, so let's see here. Well, we got all these friends tuned in. Let's play a song for the friends here. I unfortunately am not good enough to play any Louis Armstrong songs for you, so that's why I suggest you go check them out. But I have a great song here that I love playing, and I hope you do too. You've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road is rough ahead and you're miles and miles from a nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. You've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got trouble, but I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. Well, if we stick together, we can see it through. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Some folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too. But maybe none of them would ever love you the way I do. Well, it's me and you. And as the years go by, well, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. the great Randy Newman for one of my all-time favorite movies, Toy Story. It's always good. I like playing the songs for the friends, you know, like that's I like celebrating friendship.
People loving the Friends songs.
Yeah, that's what, you know. It's about celebrating friendship. That's what it's all about. Let's see. I was trying to think if I knew any other good Friends songs now, besides the Friends theme. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's play. I know Brett likes to play this song every now and again. Song by the great Woody Guthrie, one of the original great folk singers here in the United States, and wrote a lot of songs about a lot of different struggles throughout history. A big voice in pushing music into being socially conscious and all that. But so he wrote this great song that we all learned when we were young kids. And it's called "This Land Is Your Land." Well, as I went walking, ribbon a highway, saw above me an endless skyway that I saw below me, that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, followed my footsteps through the sparkling sands of the diamond deserts, while all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As the sun came shining, I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. The voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. But this land was made for you and me. But this land was made for you and me. And this land was made for you and me. And this land was made for you and me. And this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. All right, let's see here. So we're talking about with Louis Armstrong, we're talking about all this music going up and down the Mississippi and all the different spots that it goes to. One of my favorite songs dealing with going up and down the Mississippi is actually by a guy named Johnny Cash. So we can mix things up here and throw a little country, a little Johnny Cash in there. I love playing Johnny Cash songs. As a person like myself that has a lower voice, it makes it a lot easier to sing than me trying to sing high. So here's this song called Big River. Well, now I taught the weeping willow how to cry. I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears that I cried for that woman were gonna flood you, big river. And then I'm gonna sit here till I die. Well, I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota. Tore me up every time I heard her drawl, southern drawl. And then I heard my dreams back downstream, Fortin and Davenport. And I followed you, big river, when you called. Then you took me to St. Louis, later on, down the river. Freighter said she'd been there, but she's gone, oh boy, she's gone. Then I caught her train to Memphis, and she walked on up the block. Raised a few eyebrows, and she went on down low. Well, now won't you bet down by that road, River Queen? Roll it on, well, take that river down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Go on, I've had enough. Dump my blues down in the Gulf. She loves you, big river, more than me. Well, now I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears that I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river. And then I'm gonna sit here until I die. Yeah, little Johnny Cash, otherwise known as the Man in Black. All right, let's see. We got time for another song here before we gotta wrap things up. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out with me. I know I'm no Brett Dale, but I'm doing my best here. All right. Let's do another song for Imogene here. I don't have my lyrics in front of me, so I'm going to do my very best with this. So we'll see how it goes. I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water, no matter how hard I try. Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, where I want to be. See the time where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. No one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, they all know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is by design. I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can go with mine. I can lead with pride, I can make us strong. I'll be satisfied if I play along. Voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me? See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. No one knows how deep it goes, and it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me. Let me know what's beyond that line. When I cross that line, see the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. No one knows how far it goes. If I win, but my sail on the sea stays behind me. When they all know how far I'll go. Yeah, how far I'll go. Yeah.
You got the whole Shannon household singing along.
Oh, there we go.
That one.
That's exactly what I want. Yeah. For any of the adults that may be watching that have not seen Moana, I highly suggest it. Must watch. All right. Well, Thanks everybody for tuning in to episode 61 of RME's Music Lab, and getting to see the maiden voyage of Ben running Music Lab. We'll see. I'm sure I'll be back here at some point as well, playing some more songs for you. But it's been great hanging out with you. Hope we'll see you Monday morning, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. on RME's Facebook page. We're doing this all the time. We love seeing all of you in the chat. I know I'm usually the one that's running the actual RME page in the chat there, and so I love getting to interact with everybody and getting to see y'all on a regular basis, at least through the computer screen. And of course, if you want to help support River Music Experience, there's rivermusicexperience.org/donate. Help keep the lights on and all that stuff. But most importantly, thank you for watching RME's Music Lab. Now we'll play the Brett Dale original here to wrap things up. We can learn about the ABCs. We can learn about the 1, 2, 3s. It's all about you and me having fun together. Talk about your family. We can learn about anything. It's all about you and me having fun together. It's all about you and me having fun together. It's all about you and me listening to Louis Armstrong and having fun together. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you give Louis Armstrong a listen here.
Thanks for watching. If you want to help support River Music Experience and other programs like Music Lab, visit rivermusicexperience.org